What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some dynamic knockout news for you. One, we had Jarmel Charlo knocking out Charles Hatley in the 6th round, and it was just really basically it separated the men from the boys with Jarmel and Hatley. A lot of smack talk. So, those Charlo brothers, man, they know how to really bring emotion to their fight game. You know what I mean? Because they bring it all, And, a lot of guys were ragging on Jarmel for being the lesser of the two, But if you can remember, Jamal Charlo, he also scored a 6-round KO in his opponent with Williams, knocking him out in 6 rounds. So it's 6 for 6 in round 6, right? So, that was a pretty good fight. And he caught him in an awkward punch, man, a right when he was turning out. And he hit Hatley, man. And I know Errol Spence was there. Thurman was there. A lot of guys were there really to, I think Spence was there really just to see what happens and to support his boy Hatley because they're both from Dallas, Texas. But, you know what I mean? He came up short. He got caught with that punch, But, I mean, he can bounce back. But, again, it just separates, the good from the best, as of right now, But, hey, we'll see what Hatley does in the future. But where does that leave Jarmel? It leaves Jarmel for a unification, man, because it's time to really, put him in there with Lara, because Lara, he doesn't have an opponent as of late because guys have been thrown his way or whatever. So it's time for him to pick an opponent. And, what's a better opponent besides Jarmel Charlo, a guy that he knows, a guy that he trained with. They used to be with the same trainer, Ronnie Shields. So Ronnie Shields, I see him really coaching Lara through it. But Jarmel, he's a big puncher. You can tell he comes with the aggression. And that's how you got to beat a guy like Lara. You just got to, just swarm him with punches. And I think he can actually do it if Lara slowed down a little bit, But I see Jarmel and Lara getting in there, because Jarmel, needs to be in bigger, better things, Charles Hatley's out the way. Now it's time for somebody like Earslandy Lara, Why not? I mean, if Lara's going to stay at 154, Jamal, his brother, has went to 160. So we'll see what he does up there. But big ups to Jarmel Charlo for knocking out Charles Hatley in the 6th round, in dynamic fashion. It was over with when that punch was landed. If you slow it down, you watch that fight, you can see where the way he caught him, there wasn't no getting up from that. You know what I mean? It was time, Curtains closed on that one, you know what I mean? Next up later on in the main event, same venue, same card, Shawn Porter taking on Andre Berto. I've been telling people, man, I've been telling people who would listen, Porter will bulldog you. That aggression will not stop. Andre Berto, we learned from the Guerrero fight, he's not good with pressure fighters. He has to sit back and, and think about his attack. You know what I mean? He needs that space to attack those quick combos. And he's real quick, but he's not aggressive enough. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why Floyd picked him for his last fight, his last quote-unquote true fight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a good fight, too. Berto didn't have nothing really. He couldn't do anything with Shawn Porter, And anything you learn from Shawn Porter is he can take a punch because he took some good left hooks from Keith one-time Thurman. You know what I mean? Now it's Keith two-time Thurman, right? Since he's the WBA and the WBC, welterweight champion. Now that puts Shawn Porter right back in the mix to fight him again. And I know Shawn Porter's hungry, and all Shawn Porter's losses has been to close, decisions, with Thurman and Brook. So the welterweight division is looking really good right now. Where does that leave Andre Berto? I don't really know, man, but I think this whole card was the result of separating the men from the boys, the lions and men, you know what I'm saying? Because it was no way that Andre Berto was going to beat Porter, with his style, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if he could catch him coming in, sure, that was his only hope was to catch Porter coming in. But if he could catch Porter coming in, could he hurt Porter? Porter has now, he's known to have a great chin. You know what I'm saying? But Porter's definitely forced to be reckoned with in the welterweight division. you know, and I know he's coming right back after Keith one-time Thurman, but I think he has to wait because, you know, a lot of other fights, you know, has been developed since the wins. So, I mean, you know, honestly, I would love to see Porter in there with Pacquiao, you know what I mean? That fight could be on the table, you know, because if he can beat Pacquiao, which that's not out of the question because of his style. Styles make fights. The way Porter fights, the way he berates you with punches and aggression, you know, and smothers you with those punches and aggression, you know, he could get you out of there because, you know, Manny Pacquiao's a little quicker though, you know, but can Manny Pacquiao turn out of that space and create enough space to punch and, you know, and get some leverage on those punches, you know, especially that left hand he's good for, you know, so that would be a good fight. And on top of that, Manny Pacquiao has sparred with Shawn Porter numerous times. You know, it wasn't recorded, but, you know, I heard, you know, this and that about those particular encounters. And, you know, and I heard that Shawn Porter, you know, didn't get into Manny Pacquiao's shit for a bit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to call it what it is, you know, and anytime when someone spars, they get a taste of their knowledge. They get a taste of the experience in the ring with that person. You know, everyone says that sparring is not important, but it's very important. You know, they say that amateur's not important. Amateur fights are very important because you're in the ring with that fighter. You know, fighters do change and they do switch up a bit. They do learn, you know, but a lot of people have the tendencies, the habits to do the same thing. That's why it's important. When you get in the ring with that particular person, you know that person, you know that person's tendencies and habits. So, you know, I would love to see a Porter Manny Pacquiao fight. That would be great for boxing. You know, if Thurman can't get Pacquiao can, you know, fight Porter, or Porter can fight Pacquiao, and then he can get a payday. You know what I'm saying? So a bigger payday. Speaking of Thurman, Khan wants to call out Thurman, you know, and said, hey, I want to fight with you at the end of the year, you know, and you know Thurman's going to jump at that if he can't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, you know what I mean? And I think, honestly, Thurman would fight Khan over Spence if Spence gets through Brook, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a bigger money fight. I'm not sure if it'll be an easier fight because Khan still has some quick hands. He has some of the quickest hands in the welterweight division at this point. So, you know, that looks fun. So all these fights, you know, evolved because of these wins from Porter and Jarmel, you know, and I just look forward to it, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I would have covered this last night, but I had a function or whatever. You know, had a good time down here in NOLA. So, you know, but I'm getting to it now. But anyway, guys, you know, please tell me what you think about it. You know, please subscribe. Check out my Facebook fan page, Counterpunch Boxing News. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.